The Indus Valley Civilization was a Bronze Age civilization in northwestern South Asia. The Indus Valley Civilization, ancient Egypt, and Mesopotamia were the three earliest civilizations in the world. The area that was once the Indus Valley Civilization was in what is now Afghanistan, much of Pakistan, and west to northwest India. The civilization thrived on the Indus River basin, which flowed through Pakistan, and its perennial river system, which was fed mainly by the monsoon and seasonal rivers, the Ghaggar River. The civilization's cities are known for their plant cities, baked brick houses, complex drainage and irrigation systems, clusters of non-residential buildings, and new methods of handicraft, carnelian products and seal engraving, and the ability to extract metals from ores, copper, bronze, lead, tin. The two major cities of the civilization, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, probably had populations of 30,000 and 60,000, and at their peak, they could have had populations of 1 to 5 million. Archaeologists have traditionally believed that the history of India began about 1,000 years before the time of the Buddha. But when many cities were excavated in the Indus River Valley, which was the origin of Indian civilization. Later, the history of India had to go back thousands of years until it was assumed that the first community with the potential for civilization began around 2,800 years before the Buddha. In the Bronze Age, this community itself was called the Indus Valley Civilization, which is expected to be a civilization of the same era as the Mesopotamian civilization in the Tigris and Euphrates River valleys, and the Egyptian civilization in the Nile River Valley. The word Indus or Sindhu in Sanskrit means a river or a stream. The name of the Indus River, if written in Roman letters, is. The Persians, who are neighbors to the west of India, could not pronounce it, so they replaced the sound with the sound. The name of this river became Sindhu. Later, the British came to rule India, so they called it a name based on the ancient Greeks who borrowed the language form that was used from the Persians by cutting off the word Sindhu and creating the words Hindu and India, where the first word is used to name the river and the second word is used to name the country. Although originally India was known by the familiar name Bharatavarsha, which is the name of the first king of India according to the Mahabharata scripture that Indians worship. In addition to being called Bharatvarsha, India also has another name, Hindustan, from the language that Persians called this land. The Indus Valley Civilization, or known in the circle of archaeologists as Harappan Civilization, was discovered by accident in 1856 during the survey of the route to build the Lahore-Multan Railway in Pakistan. Then Sir John Marshall, an English archaeologist, came to explore seriously until digging the remains of two ancient cities hidden in a huge mound on the banks of the Indus River, namely Harappa in Punjab and Mohenjo-daro in Sindh. It is assumed that these two cities were the centers or cradles of the Indus Valley Civilization, although later, the sites of more than 2,500 cities were discovered from repeated excavations of cities up to 10 meters deep. It is surprising that the area of the city is a prosperous ancient city, a unique urban civilization, i.e., it has the same urban planning, the same road construction, the same size and shape of brick houses, strong city walls and fortifications, granaries, water basins, drainage systems, and small and large roads paved with bricks connected well like a net. Archaeologists therefore conclude that the earliest city in the Indus Valley Civilization was built approximately 5,000 years ago and believe that these cities must have had a central government that centralized power and had advanced arts and sciences to a certain extent. However, no written or inscription evidence has been found, making it very difficult to determine the age of the Indus Valley Civilization. However, it can be inferred from the remains of buildings and objects excavated using archaeologists' methods. There is no clear evidence of when the Indus Valley Civilization will end. Archaeologists therefore assume that the Indus Valley Civilization must have flourished for approximately 1,000 years before rapidly declining for unknown reasons. Some assume that the cause may have been the Sarasvati River. The north has dried up and turned into a barren desert, forcing people to abandon their original homes and migrate to find new places to make a living.